Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about SoFi Technologies' SOFI stock and how this company has a huge catalyst coming up literally in just a few days. We're going to be going over their latest news updates, price targets, and what professionals are thinking about the stock, as well as where the future stock price could be headed. We're going to be analyzing 3 articles. 2 of them are going to be very bullish and positive, and then 1 of them is going to be more bearish, so we can weigh both sides of the overall spectrum. The first one we're going to talk about is the catalyst that is coming up on November 15th, and then the second one is we're going to be going over and discussing another banking company that rivals SoFi Technologies in both their digitalization as well as their overall growth prospects, but instead of it being a full-on growth stock such as SoFi, it also offers growth along with a good dividend yield. And then lastly, we're going to conclude by talking about the bullish case for SoFi Technologies and why it's still completely intact for the company to become profitable in 2024, which should ignite the stock price. For more videos on SoFi Technologies, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below about where you think the stock price is headed, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's dive into these articles. So, SoFi Technologies currently trades at $5.30 per share, while investors, professionals, experts, and analysts in this space believe the company should be trading between $6 and $11. $6 on the low end is the price target, and on the high end we have $11 as the price prediction. If you're not familiar with this company, SoFi is a fintech company or a financial technology company that operates a digital app which gives their consumers access to various financial products and services. SoFi Technologies recently has surged in their stock price because we have a deadline coming up on November 15th for students to apply for student loan forgiveness as quickly as possible. Borrowers, particularly in regards to people who have borrowed government money for student loans, who also make less than $125,000 per year in their overall income, are eligible for up to $10,000 of federal student loan debt relief and or debt forgiveness. So this student loan debt forgiveness is going to be a very interesting prospect for SoFi Technologies, and I will tell you on how it impacts them negatively and positively at the same time, and I think this will actually offset its own risk. But right now there's around 40 million students or former students that have borrowed student loans, which cumulatively and collectively owe around $500 billion to the government, according to ABC News. Around 8 million of those borrowers will automatically receive a student loan forgiveness because the U.S. Department of Education already has their overall income information and will automatically apply that $10,000 discount to their overall student loan debt load. However, I personally would not rely on that. I would personally go and apply for that student loan debt relief just to make sure that you're in the system. A professional from the College Investor, who is named Robert Farrington, talks about this opportunity by saying, "The urgency is simple. The administration wants to forgive as much debt as possible as quickly as possible. It's really hard to put the cat back in the bag once forgiveness actually starts on loans. It would be very hard for anyone to stop it," end quote. So essentially he's saying to jump on this as of right now, as soon as possible, to make sure you can get that $10,000 worth of debt forgiveness and student loan relief and or student loan forgiveness. The student loan forgiveness is not going to be beneficial for SoFi Technologies, or at least it doesn't seem so. However, I do want to point out that this has given SoFi Technologies a lot of publicity in the overall news. Although, yes, this is not beneficial for SoFi Technologies, the CEO, who is Anthony Noto, actually says that he supports this overall student loan forgiveness, and he takes the moral high ground here, and he says that he's not stressed that SoFi will lose some business due to this. However, I do think this is a good thing for multiple reasons. I will just name 2. The first reason is it shows that the CEO honestly cares about SoFi Technologies' customers and consumers and their overall base. This company is made to help people on their financial journey, whether that be financial literacy or retiring early, on top of student loan debt. Another thing I like is that it not only shows that the CEO and the company stand for moral uprightness and how they want to help their consumers, but it also, like I mentioned, gives SoFi Technology a huge PR buff. It gives them fantastic public relations and great marketing, because the more SoFi Technologies is mentioned in these types of articles of student loan forgiveness, it alerts various investors and former students that have this student loan, or even current students who have student loans. They're saying, hey, I know that I'm going to get $10,000 worth of my debt forgiven. However, I still need to refinance the rest of my overall debt load. And I might as well do that with SoFi Technologies, which is a company extremely familiar with student loan refinancing and also takes the moral high ground. Now moving more to the bearish article. So we have SoFi Technologies, who looks very strong because it has great growth prospects for both the company, the business, on top of the overall stock price. But we also have another company such as Ally Financial, which is basically the OG version of SoFi Technologies. If investors are looking for a similar growth opportunity in a more stable company that also offers a fantastic dividend, then that is where Ally Financial comes in. And like I said in the last video where I compared SoFi to Ally Financial briefly, I mentioned that I personally own both of these companies, and as you can see right now, SoFi Technologies has surged by around 6.73%, while Ally Financial has surged by around 15.4%. Currently, the ALLY share price trades for $28.66, while professionals believe the company should be trading between $23 and $46 over the next 12 months, and I personally think that this is a phenomenal company to buy. There's plenty of market share to go around for multiple companies. This is just not one company dominating the entire industry. There's going to be multiple market winners, and that's why I take a co-opetition approach. But when we compare SoFi to Ally, something is very clear. SoFi clearly has better growth trajectories and growth prospects according to their current earnings report. However, Ally is definitely the safer option, which will also provide the ability to grow your wealth over the long term. And even in the short term, the stock price has surged much higher than SoFi Technologies as of right now. Ally and SoFi are both essentially digital banking institutions which offer their consumers financial services like checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, debit cards, various loans, and other financial services. But there are two main differences between the companies that I did not cover in the last video, however I did mention them. SoFi mainly focuses on student loan refinancing, personal loans, and home loans, while Ally specializes primarily in vehicle loans. Now, the competitive advantage I think goes to SoFi due to their Galileo payment services platform, which we already discussed a multitude of times, but if you're not familiar with this, SoFi acquired Galileo, and Galileo is one of the most efficient bank-to-bank or business-to-business loans and money transfer technology that we have on the market right now. SoFi is also a more speculative younger company compared to the more battle-hardened Ally Financial, which was rebranded to Ally back in 2010 because originally they were actually an extension and an offshoot from General Motors, particularly the financing division from General Motors that covers vehicle loans. So it got so successful that it ended up just branching off and becoming its own entity from GM. This is another reason why Ally Financial has substantially more deposits in their overall bank than SoFi, because it's just an older institution. On top of that, Ally's revenues have been increasing at a steady and stable rate ever since 2014, making this a very consistent, stable, safe company that also gives you fantastic growth, particularly in regards to the risk to reward ratio. Now, the only time where they didn't actually improve on their overall revenues was during the pandemic, but right now it currently has over 26 times the amount of deposits than SoFi has, making it substantially safer than SoFi Technologies, and it also carries a higher deposits to liability ratio, which is very good. On top of that, Ally has a lower cost structure on its balance sheet compared to SoFi Technologies, so in regards to those three divisions, Ally Financial is clearly the safer pick. On top of that, Ally also offers a very competitive dividend to its investors, and this is mainly due to their years of profitability, which SoFi has yet to achieve, on top of Ally trading at a much more realistic price-to-book valuation than SoFi Technologies. So what is the yield for their dividend that Ally gives their investors? Well, it currently comes in at 4.7%, while SoFi does not pay a dividend right now. Now again, I am not saying that Ally is objectively better than SoFi Technologies. I think SoFi clearly has better technology than Ally. But considering that Ally is not only safer and it gives us dividends, which is going to generate us passive income and cash flow even while the stock market is falling, and if we reinvest that dividend back into this company, our next dividend is going to be even greater on top of its overall lower risk. So it's really good to own both of these companies simultaneously at around an equal portion of your portfolio, so you can offset the risk from one speculative risky growth stock that has great growth ahead of it, which is SoFi, with a very stable company that gives you a dividend that also has decent growth, which would be Ally. So I think these are completely complementary plays right now that should be in people's portfolio, especially if they own one of them. I think they should own both of them. So overall, these are great companies, but when it comes down to fundamentals, Ally just has the better track record, but that's only because SoFi hasn't been on the market for that long, so we're going to have to recompare these companies back in the next 10 years, especially if you're a long-term holder such as I am, but I don't anticipate that I will sell either SoFi or Ally anytime soon, because they both make up a pretty good chunk of my overall portfolio put together. For instance, I have around a 4% allocation to SoFi Technologies and a 4% allocation to Ally Financial, because that's just good risk management in my overall portfolio. So together, these institutions make up around 8% of one of my portfolios, paired with other banking institutions I own, such as JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and the like. Lastly, we're going to be going over the bullish case for SoFi Technologies. So we're back on the hype train, except I've said this multiple times, I don't like people overhyping this company, such as Luke Lango. He does this all of the time, and I think that it gives investors false hope, and it gives them a false sense of how the stock market actually works. He says, looking ahead into 2023, they're even more bullish on SoFi Technologies, and I hope so, because the student loan moratorium is ending. The ending of the student loan moratorium will increase the overall demand for the student loan refinancing products, which will act as a major catalyst for this company in less than the next 2 months. So we have a catalyst in the next few days, and then we have a catalyst in the next few months that investors should look forward to, which should cause the stock price to increase. On top of that, SoFi Technologies does have great products and services that they offer through their quote-unquote powerful super app, where tons of younger consumers are gravitating toward this digital-first app instead of going into a brick-and-mortar bank. The company's growth prospects are absolutely exceptional according to this article, and I do agree with that. However, I don't think it's going to 10x in the next few years, like this author has repeatedly said. I think it gives people a false hope of SoFi Technologies going from around $5 to $50 in the next few years. I just don't see that happening from a realistic standpoint. We need to weigh the pros and the cons, the risk management, and what we can honestly expect from this company. If the company even 5x'd or even 2x'd over the next few years, this company would be a great play. A lot of people are overexposed to SoFi Technologies because they believe it's going to be the next Amazon, but of the banking space, and I understand this, but literally it will never be an Amazon. The market cap of Amazon is just way too high for a banking company such as SoFi, particularly a newer fintech company, to compete with. So I think that gives us a false sense of hope, but overall this is a very good company to hold on to. I like SoFi Technologies, I report on SoFi Technologies, I own SoFi Technologies, but I want to own it while practicing proper risk management. If you just go off of what articles say all of the time and you don't do your own research, you're going to end up with a portfolio deeply in the red because you're just going to keep buying the next hyped stock, and that is a very dangerous way to invest. Perform your own analysis, see what professionals are saying about the company, don't over-allocate yourself to any one stock. You should have a diversified portfolio in all of the market sectors, and then over time, that should build you wealth if you did it properly. Overall, we have a great news update for today, so go and smash the like button right now, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.